everyone, and welcome to Skin Interviews. I am your guy. My name is George Scandalis, and this is
Nathan Strong.
Was there a delay there, Nathan?
It was maybe a little bit of a delay.
I think there's a delay. My Wi-Fi is not agreeing with me. Maybe my Wi-Fi is suffering from COVID.
I hope not. Do you reckon you can catch it from your Wi-Fi?
I don't know. Well, that would be new. I mean, we figured out it's not airborne, but they do think it's aerosolized. But I think it just goes to show how much we don't know. And, you know, speaking of don't know, if there's anybody in our industry that doesn't know today's guest, they are in for a massive dose of personality, a lot of good laughs, a beautiful, kind-hearted friend, a good soul. I've had the pleasure of working with her at two different companies. What's really amazing about her is how successful she is at such a young age. And I know that you have a close personal relationship with her too. And how can you not with that kind of a personality? So we'd like to welcome to the show our good friend and colleague in the industry, Lindsay Barras. Welcome, Lindsay.
Hey guys. I feel like the podcast has already peaked after that introduction. I feel like it's all downhill from here. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Should we stop it here?
Pardon me?
Should we stop it here? Are you satisfied with it? It's over?
Yeah, this is great. This is all everybody needs to know. Fabulous.
Honestly, Linz,
we're good.
We're so glad to have you on the show. Like, you know, we have so much love for you, and we're really looking forward to interviewing you tonight.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm also secretly so nervous. You guys are so intimidating to be with. Such an intimidating crew. I'm just happy to be part of the party.
Well, let's have a drink. Just have a drink just to settle you down a little bit. And we just want you to be yourself, Linz, because you're wonderful.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
I want you to be nervous. I mean, we're big time now. This is like, boom. We're interviewing. You know?
Right.
So
you got me on my toes, George. You got me on my toes.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Let's take it right from the start, okay? So it's a regular day like no other. Your mom's water breaks. Boom. Out you come. What is your name after? Is it just Lindsay Barras? Is it Lindsay Elizabeth Barras? Is it Lindsay Michelle Barras? What is it?
Okay, so actually for the first month, I was just baby because my parents couldn't decide on a name. Because my parents really wanted to name me Maggie, but my dad's buddies were all like, no one's going to date a girl named Margaret, so you can't name her Margaret. So then they were back to the drawing board for like a good month. And then I think it was like my sister who just picked it out, and they're like, this sounds fine. So Lindsay Megan Barras.
Lindsay Megan Barras. And do you know any Margarets?
I don't. Okay, yes, my sister's mother-in-law is a Margaret.
Wow, did she date a lot or was it a flop?
I'm just gonna keep it classy and just say I'm happy with Lindsay.
All right, where were you born, Linz?
I was born in North York, and we lived in North York for the first couple of years and lived in Oakville, lived in the States growing up for parts of high school. We moved around a lot for my dad's job. Came back to Canada, lived in Unionville, and then I went off to school, and then I was kind of just on my own from there. Then went from school to Toronto. Been here ever since.
And so we know you've got your parents and your sister. Are there any other siblings? Just the two of you?
No, it's just my older sister and I. And I have a new nephew who I'm so obsessed with, Charlie. Oh, there he is. Wow, great timing, guys.
I see Charlie on Instagram all the time. He's so cute.
I know. He's so ridiculous. So yeah, they're my parents, my sister, my brother-in-law. We're all very close. I feel very lucky.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
So talk to us a little bit about elementary school and high school, Linz.
Okay. Went to elementary school in North York. You know, I was just like the little rascal kid who was always put in timeouts for being too loud and talking too much, but then also was the biggest loser and nerd in sciences and math. So people didn't really know what to do with me. I was the one kid who was always put in like timeout at my own birthday parties because I was just so loud and out of control. But never really got detention. I was a good kid, was in all the sports teams. I mean, like my parents gave me no good material for situations like this. Like I was extremely loved unconditionally. I was a good kid. I got good grades. I studied hard. But now when I'm in scenarios like this, I'm like swearing at them because it's like, you gave me no good material to talk about. Got nothing juicy for you guys.
I just want to bring up two shots here.
Yeah.
So I've got two shots here, and the Lindsay Barras I know, this is you living your best life in two different situations. Like I know that you're a true athlete, you love your sport, but the one thing you love to do about from a professional point of view is present, and you're a phenomenal presenter. I've seen you present on numerous occasions, and I get so excited when I get the opportunity to see you present. But talk to me a little bit about when you were younger. What was it you really wanted to do when you were older?
So when I actually have a distinct memory from when I was in grade 2, and we had to do this mat and like draw our vision board of our future. And I drew that I was really excited to be a cashier because I was so excited to have long fake nails and press on all the buttons. And my parents were on like so high alert to be like, you can like kind of reach for the stars a bit more than that. But I was like, that's all I want. I want the vest and fake nails. And when I got into high school and studying hard and kind of seeing what I was good at, I knew that I was really good at sciences and math because I knew if I worked hard enough, I'd always find the answer and figure it out. So going into university, I majored in biology and chemistry and had a minor in math. So I had a double major, and the intention with that was to go into dermatology because I always grew up with really awful eczema. So I was in and out of different dermatologist offices all the time. And I knew what I appreciated and didn't appreciate in a dermatologist. And so I thought that was something that I would be really passionate about and be able to walk in with empathy and a little bit of experience from a patient point of view. So that was always the intent going into it. But got into university and found I wasn't passionate enough to go through extended amounts of schooling beyond the undergrad to actually make that happen.
Okay, and so striving to be a cashier when you're a young lady, who were some of the heroes that you looked up to?
Well, there's this woman at No Frills who, to be completely honest, I know this sounds awful, but I didn't have one person I really looked up to. I was always really close with my parents, and I saw how hard my dad worked. And my parents were married for 10 years before they had kids. And my mom had a really successful job before they started a family, and she left her job to be able to raise kids. And my parents always instilled in us how they both had to work hard to create a successful life. And I think that was always something that motivated and inspired me to see how hard my dad worked to be able to make a life that he and my mom both wanted. So I don't remember ever looking up to one person. I just remember always being really excited to work hard to create a life that I wanted.
I love that answer. And if there's one thing I can say, I know you very, very well and work and obviously personally, but you've sort of taken that from your parents, and you're a very, very hard worker. So it's amazing that you've sort of carried that family tradition on. I like to see that.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So, Linz, we catch up often in Toronto when I'm in town, and we go out for a few drinks, and you often have a funny story to tell us. So, what's your latest funny story, or what's a story about you growing up that you would like to share with us today?
Oh my gosh. What a perfect thing to put me on the spot about, because all my stories are not appropriate, that I'm not sharing. But
we want to know the real you, Linz. The real you.
What did you say?
We want to know the real you.
Okay, I will say one thing I was getting ready for this and amping myself up and thinking, okay, what am I going to talk about? And I will say one of my favorite professional memories that has to do with you, Nathan, was when you first. So I was the global education manager for Vivian. You had just come on as a new sales rep, and it was your first time in the skincare industry. And all I knew was that I was training this new sales rep who had no experience in skin. And we just hit it off instantly. And I remember sitting down and you like had all of your notes and you were so serious. And I was like diving right into the science and everything like that. And you're like, okay, wait, back up. Is a cleanser what you do in the shower, or is the toner what you do in the shower? And I was like, oh my goodness, if I can get through this, I can do anything in my career. I was like, let's go back to like what you learned when you're in grade 1 of how to take care of your skin. And then in that same visit of your onboarding, remember we went to go play tennis and just hit it off instantly. So when you were talking about how I'm an athlete, I was like, oh my gosh, you would know firsthand from when I schooled you in tennis.
Well, we don't lie on this show, Lindsay. We don't lie on this show. Should we tell the truth about that game?
Go ahead. I mean, this is your podcast, so whatever you say, everyone's going to believe. So take that forum.
You know what? You're the guest. I'll let you have it, but we all know who won that day.
I'll take
nobody comes for my co-host and gets away with it. Lindsay, let's talk about those Lee press-on nails. Let's see your nails right now during COVID.
Thank you, George. Thank you.
That is bullying in its finest form right now. I was chipping off my nails. I was like, I haven't seen my bare nail in maybe 6 or 7 years. It's so bad. I was even going to paint them for tonight, but I was like, that's going to be such a hack job. I can't even bother.
So, well, you know what? You live to work in skin, so you satisfied your dermatology dream. You had the nails, so you satisfied your grocery dream. I mean, you are a go-getter on all avenues. I love it. I want to go back to, this question is always more fun when we ask people that are usually much older. But I want to know who your first love is and where they are today.
Oh my gosh. I would say my first love was my grade 11 and 12 boyfriend, Brian. No idea where he is today. He's definitely married. I think he married an American. So I don't even know if he's in Canada or the States, but I'd be so pumped to see him again. He was like the funniest dude. So yeah, it was awesome. It was the best first love.
Do you not stalk him on Facebook? I mean, what's going on? Come on. I know Lindsay better than that. Did he block you? No, we made a second attempt at it and it didn't work out and he was so pissed at me. So he may have blocked me. But then I did see him years later and it was so lovely and I was so excited to see him. I'm literally tearing up from laughing so hard. I love you so much. Like, I really adore you. I really adore you. Tell me about your first kiss. Was it good? Was it awkward? How did it go?
Okay. So
this is going to be so good. I can't wait.
Such a loser in high school. Okay, guys. So there's this dude who I was in the States and I thought, I'm like so mortified that he's going to see this. He was like, I thought he was so hot and he was in my health class and I just like did all the classic grade 10 loser things to get his attention. And oh no, this was in grade 9. So I had the class with him. I honestly don't think he knew my name. And then the summer going into grade 10 is when I actually, like, I think my sister gave me a hard talking to be like, you know, you don't have to look like a boy every day. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I can actually do something about my looks. And so I went into grade 10 and the first day he started talking to me. And so I'm like freaking out. And in the States, we had homecoming in like September or October, and he asked me to homecoming. But because I was such a loser, I thought it was a practical joke. So I said no, and I was like, who else is in on it? And everything. It was so bad. It was so crazy. And the worst part is I went back and clarified with him. I was like, was that a serious offer? Because if it is, I'm in. So then the night before the dance, we went to the homecoming game. And I don't know, we're just like walking around the track and veered off from our friends and he kissed me, and it was so cold out and my lips were numb and it was a nightmare. But I mean, at the time I was in heaven. I thought it was like the absolute coolest. I like probably wrote like 5 pages in my diary thinking I was so like introspective, jotting everything down. The next Taylor Swift, ready to release my like diary for the whole world.
Do you remember his name? I mean, you said you weren't sure if he knew your name, but do you remember his name?
Oh no, he definitely knew my name by the time we went to the dance together. It was like, okay, it wasn't that hot in grade 10 where he was just taking a no name to the dance. Yeah, I remember his name, Josh.
Josh. Well, we have a surprise here for you today on the Skinterviews episode by Nathan and George. We'd like to welcome to the show Josh from the United States.
I actually think he like big time went into wrestling. I know he got like a full ride to his school to go for wrestling. So God knows where he's at today.
What would you do if I had him on the show right now? Would you like freak out?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'd probably be so excited. I'd be like, where are you at? What are you doing?
All right, let's change it up here a bit, Lindsay. Tell me the last song you sang in your shower. Like when you gave it your all.
Okay. I'm not gonna sing it, but say a little prayer.
You gotta do a couple lines. You gotta do a couple lines.
For you forever and never.
Never apart again.
Yeah, that one. I don't even know where it came from, but just you know, when the mood strikes, you go with it. What was the last song you sang, George?
Oh, it's probably some Greek song. I don't even know. I sing the whole shower. Like I do like a whole concert in there. I give it my all. I wish I had long hair to whip around too. I'll give everything. You know, okay, even when I'm blow drying my hair, like I hold it underneath and I think I'm like, feeling myself, you know?
Okay, so Nathan, when George and I would go on the road together, when we worked together at Skinceuticals, we would just have these, like, we would be this absolute, like, duet in the car. And we would be, like, blasting Beyonce Mulan duets. And, like, he would be the baritone. And, I love those days. I miss those days.
We're so good. I love doing Beauty and the Beast with you.
Linz introduced me to that movie. Remember that, Linz?
I do. He had seen Beauty and the Beast, and we watched it together on a flight.
We did.
Lindsay, tell me a hidden talent about you that nobody knows.
Oh my goodness. A hidden talent. I would say, I mean, I feel like I should give Nathan some credit and say tennis because everyone's always baffled that I can kick anyone's butt. I don't know. You know what? It does really astound people the amount of sweets I can pound back. I honestly I know that's a cop out, and everyone's just like, oh, I can eat 1 or 2 cookies. But if you know me, everyone gets quite surprised at the amount I can pound back. And you know what? That's a talent. It's mind over matter for that.
Totally.
So talking about talents, Linz, because I've never actually seen you cook, because whenever I whip your ass at tennis, we normally get takeout or we go to a restaurant. So if you were having dinner at your house tonight, and you could invite three people over, living or dead, could be anyone you can think of, who would you invite over and why? And what would you cook? Or if you're not cooking, what would you get for takeout?
Oh my goodness. I mean, okay, if we're talking right now and I can have 3 people over, I'm having my sister and 2 best girlfriends, because I'm just longing for a night of just a girls' night of interaction like that. But if we're talking anybody, I would probably pick Jennifer Lopez, because it's J-Lo, Beyonce, because it's Beyonce, and
George wants to come to this dinner, but George would crash it. He would take all the limelight.
Okay, I would also I'm super into the royal family and all the drama and everything like that. So if I could choose somebody who's dead, I'd probably get Princess Diana and just pick her brain.
And what are you cooking? What's on the menu?
What am I cooking? Okay, so realistically, if I'm having a bunch of people over, I just get a ton of bottles of wine and do like a badass charcuterie, because then everyone can nibble all night long. It's easy peasy, low maintenance. Everyone loves a good charcuterie. But if I'm going to cook, I don't know. I'm probably going to bake salmon and roast vegetables and do a good like kale salad.
And are you doing wine pairings, beer pairings? What are you serving for drinks?
I don't know, Nathan. I don't know. I'm just going to put good wine and Prosecco out. Have a good time.
Awesome. So we know quite a bit about you, Linz, but tell the viewers out there, what do you do in your spare time? What do you do to relax and chill out?
I love working out, so I love doing different workout classes, and I love jogging. Very, very close with my family, so I spend a lot of time with my family and my nephew. I'm not a huge shopper, but I do love going out with friends. I live right downtown Toronto, so love going to different patios, different restaurants. Yeah. Just, always up for a good time, always up for a new adventure, traveling, weekends away, love going to cottages in the summer. I'm a big water baby, so anything to get me into a water sport or on the dock, I'm in.
And so tell me, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
First thing I do when I wake up is I always have lemon water. That's always how I start my day. So super into like a big glass of lemon water. George, don't look at me like that.
I want you to be honest on this show, Lindsay.
That I always start my day with lemon water. I give my boyfriend a big smooch and tell him that he's the best.
So let's talk a little bit about your career, Linz, and what do you think so far has been one of the defining moments of your career?
Ooh, how I got started was so when I graduated school, I graduated with a double major of biology and chemistry and a minor in math. And throughout school, during the summers, I worked for Hershey's, the chocolate company, as a sales rep. And I loved sales, wanted to get into that. So was interested in being a pharmaceutical sales rep. So I got contracted out by Impress Pharma, which is a company that contracts out pharmaceutical sales reps. And I was partnered with La Roche-Posay, which is a medical division of L'Oreal. And La Roche-Posay products are the products that I was using on my eczema. So it was a perfect pairing. I was so excited, super passionate. But I was told right from the get-go, it was so unlikely I would get the role because I had no experience. I had no experience with doctors, with anything. And every single job required 2 years experience. And I went through, I think, about 8 interviews for that job, just with La Roche-Posay alone, to be a medical sales rep with them. And on the last interview, I remember my first manager, who is still my career mentor, Lise Cole, I remember just asking her, saying, if you like me or not, if you want me, what's your biggest hesitation? Because you've seen me 8 or 9 times, what's happening here? And I think just putting my foot in the sand and putting her on the spot to be like, is this happening or not, kind of proved to her that, okay, she may not have experience, but she has the balls to be able to ask for what needs to be asked for. And I would say that would be my defining career move, because in my eyes, she's given me every opportunity I've ever had. She gave me the first foot in the door when nobody else would. I got to last rounds with Pfizer, with a ton of different pharmaceutical companies, Allergan, everything. And she gave me that shot with no experience. And I worked my butt off to prove myself. And I think I've always had that mentality of proving myself. And that, that's been the defining event, I would say.
And you definitely took that opportunity. Look where you are today. And we look at education and salespeople, and what is the one thing that you do in your profession that you wish other people knew about?
Do you mean like in the industry or in my
In the
like
industry.
actual
What's
day-to-day
one
job?
thing? Yeah, in the industry.
I would think that and I'm sure you both can speak to this, is that I wish more people would know the resources that we give professionals, we give physicians, we give anyone to be able to have options. Because with so many different brand names and highly marketed products, I can see from a consumer's point of view that they think that's the only option. So I wish they knew that there are so many other options out there, that we have been giving resources to these dispensing partners to be able to provide, and education for them to be able to make that educated decision of different options for clients.
Cool.
Do you
And
know what I
just
mean? Does that make sense?
yeah, I totally get it. Last thing before I hand it over to George, you're talking to say a young Lindsay Barras now, or a young up and coming person in the industry. Maybe can you give them a little bit of advice about maybe an obstacle or some of the obstacles that you've had to face in your career, and how you've overcome those?
Yeah, I would definitely, the number one advice that I would tell myself, that I keep telling myself, is when it comes to business decisions and everything like that, opportunities, don't take things personally. I think that has probably made me a little bit reserved in some areas. I think that has probably hurt me in some areas. And one thing that I keep telling myself is to not take things personally and move forward, and if you don't see the opportunity, make the opportunity.
Lindsay, tell me something that really pisses you off about our industry. Like let's you're all happy, you're all bubbles, you're all sunshine, but I mean, what makes it rain? Like what gets you really mad about what goes on in our industry today?
When people are closed-minded and think that there's only one product line that is the absolute best one. There is only one device that is the absolute best one. There is one this for everything. I would say people who are very risk adverse to opportunities that could grow their business. And no, I have one. I have one that trumps. This is my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah. Should I take a drink as well?
My biggest pet peeve are when people aren't dynamic and aren't open to change and aren't moving with the times and flexible, especially during this pandemic. It's kind of tested everybody's flexibility, and you're either rocking and rolling and going with it, or you're a stick in the stand and not being flexible to be able to bend to the current situation.
So I love that answer, because we're going to touch on it in the interview. Nathan's going to ask you a couple questions about the current situation with coronavirus and COVID and how it's affected our industry. And I really want you, when he does, to highlight the amazing stuff that's happening at Dermologica, because you guys have really taken it to another level. But before we get there, I want to ask you, is there somebody you look up to in our industry today, and who it is and why? Other than me.
I definitely to both of you. I mean, there's a ton of people I look up to. I think, anybody who has made an opportunity for themselves and works their butt off, I look up to. I think whether that is somebody in a position higher than me, lower than me, I look up to everybody, all the trainers on my team. I think everybody are rock stars of the education team at Dermologica that I completely look up to. They inspire me every day. And, like I said, my mentor, Lise Cole, who gave me that opportunity, stuff that she always taught me about giving people opportunities just by your gut instinct, I'll always look up to.
Amazing. Nathan?
Who do you look up to, George? I'm curious.
Who do I look up to?
Yeah.
Myself, baby. Myself. No, you know what? That's a great question. In our industry today, there are so many people to look up to, and I think you nailed it on the head. I really look at people that really hustle and hard, that really work and really continuously educate themselves. I don't want to look at somebody that's very static. That bores me, and it bores me when people are closed-minded and can't look beyond it. There have been a couple people in my path, including yourself, that have taught me a lot. It feels weird to me when I'm listening to you talk now, and I'm thinking about how many years I've known you and our professional relationship versus just our friendship. I mean, I learned a lot from you. You were my educator at one point, and twice actually. And it's amazing to see where you've gone and how far your career has excelled. But yeah, you're somebody that I look up to because you are, in many ways, the underdog. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that you're younger. Everyone else in the industry that is in positions that you're in are much older, much more experienced. They're not much more knowledgeable. And that speaks a lot about you. So that was one of the reasons that, we love you, and we keep saying that, but one of the reasons we wanted you on the show is because of how much you invest of yourself in your own personal education and how much you bring to every setting. So one of the people I look up to, yes, is you. And there's a lot of people in this industry. So I look up to Nathan too, man.
Thanks. I'd have to second that as well, Linz. Like you taught me, you were the first person to teach me about the skin, and I owe you a lot in regards to bringing me personally into this industry with a lot of knowledge as well. And I think this is a trio of people looking up to each other, which is it's a great environment to be in. But
definitely.
Let's go back to, say, 6 months ago, Linz. We're in 2019. Lindsay Barras is living her best life. She's at Dermologica. She's living downtown Toronto, loving life. And then all of a sudden she comes into 2020 and this virus hits town, this virus called COVID-19. And I just want to ask you a question around COVID-19 and what you guys are doing at Dermologica to combat this virus, and what you guys are doing to pivot around the virus for not just the people inside your company, but also your customers.
Yeah. So first of all, going back to how this all started, I was in Palm Springs at the beginning of March when everything was going on, and because I was supposed to be in a conference at LA, and that was canceled. And I was like, well, I'm still going to Palm Springs because I got friends that are meeting me there, so I'm going. So I went to Palm Springs, and so I got back, and I was like, it probably wasn't the smartest idea because now should be quarantined. So right when I got back, I was kind of like, okay, I need to have a plan B here, because at Dermologica, we're a huge education company. We see about 400 skin therapists a month through education, because we have education centers across Canada, but we also live stream out of our education centers. So we do live streaming of different workshops. And so we were like, okay, does everybody have resources to be able to live stream from home if we get there? So even before we were kind of getting the ball rolling of, is everybody able to work from home? Does everybody have what they need? So we had to order a lot of laptops, a lot of different equipment and everything like that. And, get cell phones to switch customer service lines to, so that people could have a cell phone at home or customer service calls went directly to. So we pivoted quite quickly to all be able to work from home. And the day we started working from home, that day we started offering pure live stream classes. So I'm quite proud of how quickly we transitioned that. Additional to all of our regular curriculum workshops, we also started doing a lot of just coffee chats with different instructors and different guest speakers, just a casual forum for all of our skin therapists, all of our business owners, everything to join. Everybody shares their webcam. There's like 60 people that join every time, and everybody just chats about best practices, how they're staying in touch with clients, how they're staying healthy. Sometimes we do different skin mechanic workshops. So we provide a lot of opportunity for our skin therapists to still feel support and have a community and have a tribe. Business-wise, we're doing a lot to support our accounts as well. Extended pay periods, extended returns. We are supporting them with a ton of resources of, how they can increase cash flow right now, what they're legally allowed to have from the government, and giving them support and resources to be able to do that. And we're holding their hand through the whole process. We're also issuing gift cards for all of them, so that we're putting that into place so that all of our accounts can easily turn that on for their businesses. One thing that Dermologica has also done is right from the beginning, every other week we're doing a live global webinar where we have international guest speakers come on. We have our CEO talk, and it's for skin therapists, not just that are Dermologica accounts, but any skin expert in the industry is able to join in. And it provides a ton of different resources for how people can stay open while they're closed. So utilizing social media, utilizing virtual skin consultations, how do you do virtual services? How do you do curbside drop-offs? Everything like that. And we're holding their hand and walking them through how to do everything and being completely here at their beck and call. Education-wise, our education numbers have almost quadrupled with the amount of access we've had to our skin therapists who are relying on us for education. And I think that makes me so proud, but it also showcases such a need that everybody right now is just looking to feel a sense of community. Everybody, no matter what the brand, no matter what the topic, they're just looking to invest in themselves. And I feel really proud of that we're all in an industry where we're able to provide people access to ways that they can feel better about themselves and ways that they can stay open in business right now. And that's something that I'm really proud about Dermologica, is that we've helped, over 100 accounts stay open during this time and still have a cash flow and still, make money during this time. Because it's scary and a lot of people just need that sense of community, that we're all going through it together. And hey, this is what's worked for me. This is what has not worked for me. What other ideas do you guys have? So yeah, I feel really proud. And I know the website is here, the education.dermologica.ca, and there's a link there in the banner for the In This Together live webinars if anyone's interested to watch. It's a great support. It's a great tool. A lot of best practices shared there.
I love your answer, and congratulations to you and the team. It seems like you've put together a pretty impressive COVID-19 solution for your clients, and that's wonderful. And I love that you touched on collaboration, and that's something that George and I are big about, and that's why we've created this platform. We really believe that this is the time as an industry that we need to cut out being competitors. We need to all collaborate in this, and we need to make our industry great again. And I love it when people speak the way you are as getting through this COVID-19 situation, because we are going to come out of it.
Yeah.
We're going to come out stronger and harder, and we're going to be better than ever before. And we wish you and Dermologica all the best in that. But before we go off COVID, I want to ask you one last question about that. Now that you've had a chance to sort of get to grips with COVID and you started to relax a little bit more about the situation, what is one thing personally that you may have learned from this situation and that you may change to your everyday personal life coming out of this COVID-19 situation?
Everyday personal life, that's a good one. I honestly think that it's just going to make everything, I feel like I'm just going to be more aware. I'm going to be more aware when I'm standing at a stoplight and everyone's huddled together and think, remember when this wasn't allowed? Remember, and just things like that. I think, not that I'm going to second guess everything, but everything will kind of make you a little bit more cautious. I've also been isolating with my boyfriend and his dog, so I'm also going to come out of here feeling like an absolute queen that I survived that. But yeah, I think everybody is just going to be a little bit more grateful for their everyday life, right? But I do think that our reality is going to greatly change, especially in the industry. And I think, protocols of treatments, protocols of how we set up a medical spa, a clinic, everything is going to change.
Lindsay, I think you are a force to be reckoned with. And I want to say before we get to the last part of our show, how proud I am of what Dermologica is doing nationally and how you've spearheaded that with them as far as the education is concerned. It's absolutely brilliant and something a company should be very, very proud of. And I hope that many of the other companies that are listening today follow suit. I think it's important to be said, and that those kinds of initiatives are the types of things we need to see in our industry from all aspects. I'm not just talking about skincare. I'm talking injectables. I'm talking technology. I love the initiatives that all the doctors are taking on, the nurses as far as education is concerned too. Mm-hmm. So it's really exciting to see that when a company can take that on and really provide that level of education and support, it's really rewarding for so many people across the board. So kudos to you and your entire team. Are you ready for the quickfire questions?
I am. I couldn't be more ready. I'm a huge questions girl, so give it to me.
All right, here we go. Red or blue?
Blue.
Black or white?
Black.
Superpower, flying or invisible?
Flying.
We're losing George.
I know.
Oh no. No, don't lose me. Don't lose me. I'm here. I'm here.
You're coming back.
I'm back. Superpower, flying or invisible?
Flying.
Superpower, flying or mind reading?
Flying. I feel like mind reading would just get me in so much trouble.
Cats or dogs?
Neither. But I have to say dog because my boyfriend has a dog.
Mom or dad?
Oh my gosh, that's awful!
I love it.
I'm not choosing. That's awful. Both.
Okay, stuck in isolation for 12 more weeks. Who would you take with you, Nathan or me?
Oh my gosh, both!
You have to choose.
You have to choose.
That is so terrible. Who would you choose, me or Nathan?
Oh, obviously you, 100%.
Oh! He's just done that to butter you up to get the answer.
Nathan, I talk to you 400 times a day. I love you, buddy.
You know what? I would choose George because I would never want to take Nathan away from his girls.
Oh, that's a good answer. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
What about
good answer. Coffee or tea, Lindsay?
Coffee.
J-Lo or Beyonce?
Oh my gosh. I'm on a huge J-Lo kick right now, so I'm going to have to say J-Lo. I know you're going to kill me for that, but...
Amazing. Amazing. Those are your quick fire questions. Nathan's got 2 questions for you before we close the show.
Wait. Don't I have a chance to do quick fire questions for both of you?
It doesn't work that way.
Oh, it doesn't work that way, darling.
It's a 2-way street. Sorry, boys.
Yeah.
There's 3 of us. It's a 3-way street.
Yeah. We outvote you 2-1. So, Linz, talk to us about your skincare routine at the moment.
Okay. I do a double cleanse every morning. So do a with Dermologica pre-cleanse to remove any excess oil, dirt, debris. Then I use our skin resurfacing cleanser, has lactic acid, but it's still very nourishing and gentle. I always use, as you both know, vitamin C serum every morning. So I use our Dermologica Biolumin C serum. I don't even mean to be plugging Dermologica this much. I'm so sorry. And then I do our Phyto Replenish oil for my dry skin. And then I put on our intensive moisture balance. So easy peasy at night, switch up the exfoliants, get a good scrub going on, get the glow going.
Awesome.
Newly into a jade roller. So I'm using a jade roller every day. George, do you jade roll? No. Get on it. Yeah. You'll love it.
For what?
Helps with penetration, helps with lymphatic drainage, decreases inflammation, helps absorption of products.
Are there really any studies that show that?
I'm not even going to respond out of respect for you on that question.
You're the one that taught me how to read criticals.
I'm the one that taught you to ask that question all the time, and that just got thrown back to my face.
I do use the what's it called? I think it's the New Face.
Okay, yeah.
What is it? Microcurrent? I haven't used it in like 2 months, but I spent a ton of money on it and it's there. And I used it like I think a total of 2 times. And then Ellie keeps asking me to do it to him. And I'm like, you can do it yourself. And he's like, it's not the same.
But do that. We use microcurrent a lot. Use it, put on a mask and use it. And that'll help with the penetration of the mask. You'll see a difference.
Amazing. I love that.
Last question, Linz, before we let you go and we let George close out the show.
Yep.
You're well connected. Who do you want us to bring on the show next? And can you help make that happen for us?
Okay, I feel like Beyonce may be a little bit unrealistic. Although I would do that for you, George, if I could. I would love to see Jane Warwind. Jane Warwind on this show. She was the founder and she's the chief visionary of Dermologica. And she's the epitome of a female entrepreneur. She sees an opportunity and runs with it and creates a demand for it. And she is an incredible public speaker. So definitely Jane Warwind.
Can you make that happen for us?
I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I love that. Well, everybody, thank Lindsay Barras for being here. Lindsay, we love you. Thank you so much for being on the show. If you want to follow Lindsay, make sure you check over Instagram, Dermologica, Lindsay, CDN-EDU for Canadian Education. She's the National Education Manager of Dermologica. She's a very close friend of ours, and we're proud to be able to say that on our show today. We want to thank our guests for watching Skinterviews today. Lindsay, Nathan, thank you for being an amazing co-host. Make sure to keep me on screen when I'm talking, Nathan. I'm going to slap you. Nathan, you want to show them how we slap each other on the show? Come on, come back in. Let me show them. Ready? Where are you at, Nathan? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
That hurt.
I'm a champ. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to send us your questions if you want us to ask your experts. Make sure you let us know who you would like to see on the show next. You can find us on Instagram at skin.terviews. Same thing on Facebook, facebook.com/skin.terviews. Of course, on LinkedIn and YouTube, we are Skinterviews by Nathan and George. And on Instagram, we are going to be posting our coming soon episode so you see who our next guest is going to be. Thank you for watching. Make sure you stay safe. Kiss your families goodnight. Ciao, everyone.